Hello, greetings. Welcome once again to today's presentation about the wetland. Before beginning the new presentation, I would like to give my heartfelt thanks to all of people who give back some feedback about the last presentation about abnormality in water meter readings. They were positive feedbacks, which indeed helped me to be encouraged at least to prepare some other presentation as we will hear today. So all of your questions were very important, and they showed that people had some challenges in understanding their water meters, and I think my response to their questions was helpful. I mean, to that very important issue. Okay, today I would like to discuss about wetland, which is very important resource, but it has been overlooked most of the time. It is not too technical presentation, but rather water resource management tool, which will be helpful when we are preparing a water safety plan or maybe incident management plan in water resources or maybe in a water quality monitoring program in assessing the potential contamination which may enter the water, I mean the water source, but also the general survival of the water source. Okay, uh, some contents which will be discussed in my presentation. First of all, general concept of wetland, formation of wetland, characteristics, types, importance and functions of wetland, global and the Tanzania distribution of wetland, potential threats against wetland, which of course is the main issue. Also, wetland conservation and management to overcome the challenges or to overcome the threats as will be discussed. And also, conclusion recommendation, also some references for those who will need to go further in exploring some issues about wetland. Okay. Uh, General concept of wetland. Wetland can be defined in a lot of ways. A lot of scholars have defined wetland, but also the most basic and the most used definition from Lamsa Convention, which I've put here in the presentation, that the wetland can be defined as area of marsh, fen, peatland, or water, whether natural or artificial, permanent or temporary, with water that is static or flowing, fresh, brackish or salt, including areas of marine water, the depth of which at low tide does not exceed 6 meters. Uh, when we are talking about Lamsa conversion, some people will want to know what is it. This is just conversion which we gave the baseline on how wetland may be, how conservation of wetland have to be done, and which was adapted in the Iranian city of Lamsa in 1971 and uh, came into force in 1975. Okay. Also, according to UNESCO, wetlands are essential but often overlooked aspect of our natural environment. They are vital resource of biodiversity and take many different forms, from lakes, rivers, swamps, to deltas and tidal floods, mangrove and coral reefs. So wetlands are found near everywhere, are essential to the survival of countless species of plants and animals, and therefore are crucial for human survival too, as water is the essence of life. We agree each other that without water, no life. So when we are discussing about survival of wetland, it is not a sole issue about wetland only, but the impact of deterioration of it survival. It means there will be decline of water resource in terms of quantity and the quality. That means even the e-flows will be minimized as a result. Uh, Downstream, the survival of organism and people who depend that water will be at stake. Okay, so here there's some description of different hydrologic zone and precipitation pathways between the dry land, wetland, and the water channels. The hypothetical zone is defined as the area of the stream bed that exchanges water between the stream flow and the groundwater. Okay, so this is not an issue to concentrate because my main aim here is to discuss the potential threats of wetland and how to overcome as a basis for water resource survival. Okay, okay. The situation of wetland soil determine the vegetation that surrounds it. Plants that live in wetland are uniquely adapted to their waters or watery hydric soil. Wetland plants are called hydrophytes. Seasonally dry wetland or wetland which slow-moving water can often support trees and other stud vegetations. More frequently flooded wetlands have mosses or grasses as their dominant hydrophytes. So uh, the combination of all trees or all vegetations which are available in wetland, we call them hydrophytes. So in other way, it is not uh, any any saturated soil or any ponding water we can call it as wetland. No, but there is a special characteristics which include the special trees or vegetation that is hydrophytes. Also, the special characteristics of the soil. So we will discuss one after another after a while here so that to differentiate between normal ponding and wetland. Okay. Now, how wetland are formed? There are some factors which relate in wetland formation, like geomorphological, talking about soil characteristics, hydrology, talking about the amount of water, climate, precipitation also, which is the primary source of water. Okay. Wetland are formed when the groundwater or overflow from nearby bodies of water flood the land before a lot of the water has a chance to evaporate, more water flood, to evaporate, more flood occurs, which keeps the land submerged in water. So after rainfall or precipitation, as I said, which is the primary source of water, before evaporation and it took place to make the land dry, some rainfall can happen again. So which make the land to be circulated in enough or prolonged time, making it favorable for some of the plants or hydrophytes, as I said before, to grow and form a special characteristics of wetland. Okay. Also, as the lake or any water body become shallower, mosses and other plants, hydrophytes, as I said before, grow along the edge of the lake, extending to the water. They form a loose floating layer of tent vegetable on the water surface. Eventually, these plants are followed by water-loving grasses and sedges. So that's where now from the just normal ponding water, the situation of the soil changed to wetland. It means now special plantations started to happen. After a while, also special organisms really started to happen, which make it different from other saturated soils. Also, in irrigated agriculture areas, wetland can result from localized conditions, example, leaking irrigation ditch, or as a result of region-wide rise of groundwater resulting from regional irrigation projects. So that is a wetland also if it can happen in a prolonged time. Also, there is constructed wetland. This is very popular in wastewater treatment plant. So, of course, that is not my aim for this presentation because we are looking on the water resources perspective. Okay, now let us come to wetland characteristics. This is very important so that it can help you to differentiate between the other saturated lands or other ponding water, which result maybe from the rapid rainfall, which has happened, rapid flooding, which has happened in short time, and wetland. Wetlands they are characterized by the presence of water-loving plants or hydrophytes, which have adapted to the wetland environment by developing specialized features such as floating leaves, water-locked systems, and oxygen transport system. These plants supply a variety of ecosystem services such as nutrient cycling, carbon sequestration, and habitat for wildlife. So you can see, but other ponding water cannot provide such environment, which may be may create favorable environment for some habitats to dwell at that area. Okay. Also, wetlands are also distinguished by the hydric soil, which are characterized by suppression of or flooding for extended period and development of aerobic conditions that favor the growth of microorganisms such as bacteria and fungi that are responsible for decomposing organic matter. These soils are important for regulating the water balance of wetland as they can store and release water over time and also for supporting the growth of wetland vegetations. So you can see there is something a very important factor, time. Okay, maybe it is raining for a specific time, but now how that bonding water can remain there for sufficient time to make it favorable for growth of water-loving plants, as we have seen the features of the water-loving plants, such as floating leaves and the stems, but also supporting the microorganism and the other flora and the fauna, which are different from other animals or plants which are present in other saturated soils. Okay. Another important characteristic of wetland is their high biodiversity as they provide habitat for a wide range of plant and animal species, many of which are adapted to unique wetland environment. Wetland also serve important stopover and breeding sites of migratory birds such as ducks, geese, and shorebirds, which rely on wetland habitats for food and shelter during their journeys. Indeed, these beds may be available maybe in other uh, ponded areas, but in that place, maybe they will just go there for drinking water and then they go. But in a wetland, it means there will be presence of some food for them, making it different uh, from other ponded water. Okay, wetland types. I am not here to describe more about wetland types because I want to concentrate more in the threats and the importance. But various classification of system of wetland have been developed to serve different purpose. In classification of wetland and the deep water habitats of the US, they describe wetland according, types as marine, estuarine, riverine, lacustrine, and palustrine. Similarly, the Lancer Convention, as I said before, uh, classification, it's just from that classification above, it just adds the human created or cultural wetland types. So you can search more about types, but when we are talking about water-loving plants or water-loving vegetations, which may be available in wetland, I just gave you some of them here, like glassworth, bog rosemary, marsh collar, yellow iris, marsh spikerush, and the others. Okay, now come to my main objective of presentation: importance and functions of wetland. Uh, Sometimes when you're dealing, you are looking, you are preparing a water safety plan, you may overlook these issues, but they're very important because to, if you don't analyze um, the survival for your water resource, it means you may find yourself dealing uh, with improper sources or potential sources of water contamination. Right. Uh, What about the groundwater pollution? Here at the surface source, basically, although also the wetland, some of the lakes can act as a water recharge to the groundwater. So it is very important to understand that every wetland uh, which is near or is somewhere closer to your water resource, regardless it is a borehole or a surface water, how can it contribute to the content quality of your water source? Okay. First, wetlands provide a range of important functions and values to the society, including water purification, flood control, carbon sequestration, and recreation. These ecosystem services are essential for human well-being and are often undervalued or overlooked in the decision-making process. Huh. So people, when you are preparing a plan for water quality monitoring for your water resource, you may forego I mean to look about your wetland survive. Why? Because when maybe it is raining, some runoffs can carry a lot of chemicals from agricultural lands, but the wetland can act as the purification zone to uh, to, 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 to filter all the waste out and a clear water go to your water source. Hence, it can lead you to minimize the treatment costs, also the water quality monitoring cost. So it's very important to understand the roles played by the wetland. Okay. Also, water purification, as I said before, flood control is another important function of wetland, as they can store and then release water over time, reducing the risk of flooding downstream. Wetland act as the natural sponge, absorbing excess water during storms and releasing it slowly over time. So it is important also to consider that issue. Also, carbon sequestration is also a great function of wetland, as it can store a large amount of carbon in their soil and vegetation. Wetlands are among the most efficient natural carbon sinks, storing up to 30% of the world's soil carbon, despite covering only about 6% of Earth's land surface. The carbon store in wetland is not only important for mitigating climate change, but also for maintaining the health of the productivity of wetland ecosystem. Also, in addition to the ecological functions, wetland also provide a range of social and economic values to the society. For example, wetland are important for recreational tourism in some of places. If you go inside, you saw one of my pictures. Some of wetlands are very beautiful and can can be a source of tourism also in some of areas if well preserved. Okay, distribution of wetland. The wetland are found in all over the world, from the Arctic tundra to the tropics and across the world. According to the Ramsar Convention, an international treaty for conservation and conservation and the wise use of wetland, there are over 2,300 designated wetland sites around the world, covering an area of about 2.5 million square kilometers. These sites are recognized for their ecological importance and they are protected under the convention. Content in Tanzania also, we have a lot of wetlands. Sangu Flats, a very popular and recognized wetland. There is Kilombero, there is Mara, something like Ugala, Rufu system, Wami system, and a lot of places. So example, when you are talking about the Usangu floods covering from Ilinga and the Mbeya regions, when you are passing through the Ilinga Mbeya uh, highway at Mafinga near, at Mafinga, if not Mfindi, something like, you can see a widespread wetland there. So that is example, and they act as a very important water storage tool or water storage resource. Okay, thank you. Okay, also I've just given you some of photos here. This is the first one. This one, aerial photo made with UAV light showing a crop in the grazing land replacing the riparian and the floodplain vegetation on the north bank of the Upper Mara River wetland. Also, there is Kilombero swamps and Ramsar site. You can see some birds here enjoying the area. Also, some wetland in Loire National Park. And when you were talking about Loire River, I think you remember for Tanzania and maybe and the East African people, some few, if just last year, there is a big crisis of the Great Loire River was completely dry, making the survival of wildlife, wild animals be at stake. But why? Maybe because of threatens that the Kusang wetland, which uh, cause the drying of the river, and maybe people are grazing. I mean, grazing the animals, or some agricultural activities, which made it to lose. It is, I mean, to lose it is ability to support the survival of the Ruhr River. Okay. Okay, some potential threats against wetland, which may be anthropogenic or human caused, also natural. First one is habitat destruction. Agriculture, urban development, and infrastructure projects lead to their direct loss or fragmentation. Also, pollution, climate change, invasive species, which can invade there and cause the natural species to be displaced. Uh, Overexploitation, dam and water diversion, which may cause potential reduction of water in downstream where water may be located. Also, that is a threat. Natural disasters like events like floods, hurricanes, and the droughts can impact any wetland by altering their structure, eroding soil, and causing habitat destruction. Also, development and encroachment. People uh, can go there and use the wetland for agricultural activities or construct some uh, uh, residences. That is also a threat against the development or management of wetlands. Okay, wetland conservation and management. Conservation and management of wetland are crucial to preserve their biodiversity, ecological functions, and the services they provide to both the environment and the communities. What can we do? A lot of things can be done, but something like wetland restoration, it means all wetland areas where they have been distracted to live and protect them so that they can regain or renew their previous characteristics of wetland. That's very important. Also, sustainable land use practices to not use some chemicals which may go and harm the wetland vegetations. That is very important as well. Also, community engagement and education, research and monitoring. I was reading a certain paper where Sokoine University of Agriculture, SUA, has conducted a certain research in some or half wetlands. So, if academic institutions can continue doing some researches and provide some solution to protect the wetlands, that will be very important for their survival as per for the water resource management is concerned. Okay. Also, integrated water resource management, managing water resources in a holistic manner, considering the interconnection of river, lakes, and wetland helps maintain the natural hydrological cycles that are vital for the wetland health. Policy and legislation, partnership and collaboration. If you read the sustainable development goals, almost if not all of the goals, there are certain uh, concerning partnership and collaboration. It means if no partnership among stakeholders and the collaboration with the community and the other stakeholders, it means nothing will be planned and implemented in the I mean and provide the expected results. So if partnership and collaboration will be enacted, at least the implementation of the plan is ensured. Economic evaluation, also highlighting an economic value of wetlands like carbon sinks, flood mitigation areas, or ecotourism attractions can encourage investment in the conservation and the management instead of distraction by some activities. Okay. Conclusion and recommendation. Enhancing the resilience of wetland. When I'm talking about resilience, it means ability to regain the previous characteristics which were good due to certain factors. So enhancing the resilience of wetland and ensure their long-term health and the sustainability must not be overlooked for both the environment and the human communities. In fact, the survival of water resources is typically dependable on wetland conservation. Some way forwards which can be adapted It's like to counter unplanned urbanization and the growing population management of wetland has to be an integrated approach in terms of planning, execution, and monitoring. Also, effective collaborations among academicians and professions, including ecologists, watershed management specialists, planners, and decision makers for overall management of the wetland. Also spreading awareness by initiating awareness programs about the importance of wetland and the constant monitoring of the wetland for their water quality would provide a vital input to safeguard the wetland from further deterioration. That is very important also to be noted. In fact, it is well known that without wetland, you, you won't have a sustainable water resource. So if we overlook the water, the wetland survival, it means we overlook indirectly the survival of water resources as well. So it is important if we collaborate and yes, spread the education on how the wetland have to be protected. People are just doing on the flowing water especially the surface water sources, but forgetting that the e-flows are highly dependable on the availability and the sustainability of the wetland. Okay, here are some references which, if you have a time, you can go through them and get some uh, a lot of examples, a lot of references also, which for if you are a student or you are a policy planner or you are a researcher can be helpful. Okay, for any consultation, comment, doubt, inquiries, do not hesitate to contact me through the mentioned platforms, like my emails, uh, my Instagram, my YouTube also, where this presentation will be uploaded. And do not forget to subscribe so that you can be able to get another presentation which will be coming. Okay, thank you very much. And I wish you all the best in learning process. And I hope and pray for you that you can get something from this presentation. Ciao.